Clark reminded everybody who she is in the Fever win over the Wings in what was a blowout victory. One where Clark didn't even shoot the ball well again, but she completely dominated the game and shows the difference between her and everyone else through her play.
The Indiana Fever have flipped the script. Once the league's laughingstock, they're now its most compelling storyline, practically overnight. And leading this dramatic turnaround? None other than Caitlin Clark, the Midwest sensation who's finally been set loose after months of being sidelined like an afterthought. Now, she's storming the court like a force unleashed.
Caitlin Clark said, folks, forget what she's talking about. Today, I'm going to run the show. Today, I'm going to control the pace. Today, I'm going to dictate how this team plays basketball. And in the first half, we saw exactly that. Natasha Howard running the floor. Yeah, you heard that correct. Natasha Howard running the floor. Yeah, I should. Folks, fans have a voice. Sometimes when the noise gets too loud and they're tired of hearing from it, they say, let's just buy in a little bit. Let's let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Let's not pull the reins back too much. And in that first half, we saw exactly that.
Let's rewind to a few weeks ago. The Fever locker room felt like Thanksgiving dinner gone wrong. Tense, awkward, and one bad look away from chaos. The energy? Colder than Antarctica during a blackout. Team chemistry? Basically a science experiment that never made it past the first class. But now, they're clicking like a NASA-engineered machine. Precision, power, and just the right touch of basketball magic.
That's what we're talking about when we are referring to Caitlin Clark running the show. Caitlin Clark running the offense, being the innovator of offense, the distributor of offense for the Indiana Fever. This is exactly what we mean right here. This game was an absolute blowout. Dallas Wings didn't know what hit them. Everybody ate in the...
The turning point. Dana Bonner packing her bags and taking her me-first mindset with her. She walked into that locker room like the main act at Coachella, only to find out she was actually opening for crickets at an empty coffee shop. Bonner tried to be the star of a team already built around Caitlin Clark, like forcing a selfie into the Mona Lisa's frame and expecting the Louvre to just roll with it.
So, Indiana Fever just released her, cut their losses, right? And I hear these analysts saying stuff like, they should have held out for a trade, or I wish they had got a trade for her. She was literally untradeable, right? Like, what team would give up any of their core players for a player that's past their twilight? They picked up R.A. McDonald, or re-signed R.A. McDonald, who we all saw was a spark plug just a couple weeks ago. She's an upgrade compared to Dwana Bonner.
Bonner's exit wasn't just a roster move. It was a full-blown cleansing. The second she emptied her locker, you could almost hear the sigh of relief echo through the building, loud enough to show up on weather radar as a mystery gust of wind.
Because we've seen a huge change. We've seen a huge change from the Indiana Fever over the last 6 quarters. And especially in the fourth quarter, in the Dallas Wings game. And there were 2 players in particular that I have said that their style of play, regardless of how they're playing, is not going to work long term. And those 2 players had unbelievable games.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. When the Fever lost Bonner, they didn't just lose a player. They dropped the dead weight that was dragging them to the bottom. It was pure addition by subtraction, like finally pulling out a splinter that's been throbbing for months. The air cleared. The tension vanished. And for the first time in a while, the Fever looked like a team that actually wanted to play basketball. Without Bonner's cloud of ego hovering over them, the vibe shifted instantly, faster than the latest TikTok craze. Players who once looked like they were attending a wake were suddenly fired up, celebrating, and playing with the kind of raw joy that reminds fans why they fell in love with the game in the first place.
This team is like a sorority group. I'm not joking. They are so closely bonded, like the energy that all of them have with each other. There is not like where you see and someone looks a little disconnected. This is literally the most tight-knit team. I'm telling you, and I actually think all the discourse or the people trying to create discourse offline or outside the locker room only makes them tighter. And throughout the training session, I saw multiple times where, they were like laughing and mucking around and just completely like high-fiving and actually speaking of the high.
Enter Sophie Cunningham, the walking, talking triple shot of espresso this team didn't know it needed. While critics were busy writing obituaries for the Fever's season, Sophie grabbed this squad by the jersey and basically shouted, "We're not done yet," right in their faces. She didn't just rise to the moment. She blasted into the leadership stratosphere with all the subtlety of fireworks going off in a quiet library. In one fiery package, she became the team's hype queen, defensive enforcer, and in-the-trenches therapist. When the Fever needed a spark, Sophie wasn't handing out lighters. She was tossing motivational Molotovs. And during timeouts, while everyone else was gasping for air, she was out there sketching plays in midair like someone trying to explain Inception in 30 seconds flat.
Standout play in the game, in my mind, Clark with the big-time rejection near the rim, and then the get-ahead pass to Sophie Cunningham, touchdown. And Sophie Cunningham has come into her own as of late. But it's just beautiful. Get it out, get it up, bucket. And, that's just something others cannot do.
Her most critical contribution? Realizing that bringing Caitlin Clark into the system wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. While some players viewed Clark as a threat, Cunningham saw her for what she truly was. The skeleton key to unlocking the Fever's full potential. She became the bridge between the old guard and the new era, translating Clark's brilliance to teammates too focused on protecting their turf to see they were sitting on a goldmine. At practice, Sophie was the first to erupt when Clark nailed a no-look dime through traffic, shouting, "That's what I'm talking about," loud enough to echo. To her, it wasn't just good basketball. It was evolution, and she made sure the whole team felt it. Under her influence, admiration for Clark's game spread like wildfire, turning skeptics into believers faster than a cult leader offering free snacks.
All right, everyone who said that the Fever played better without Clayton Clark, come to the front because I'm going to slap you in the face. Fever just won 102-89 against the Dallas Wings. Congratulations to Fever. They killed it with their old and trusty playbook of just rim running. And Dallas Wings, Chris Koklanis, have you never seen a Fever game before? They're fast in transition, huge with the long bombs. Caitlin Clark is there. Run to the other side quickly. That's where they got the majority of their points. Poor Paige Beckers. You're such a huge talent, and you're just drowning with this terrible coaching. It breaks my heart, but it was an incredible game until the last quarter when it was very clear that the Fever would take.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was undergoing a transformation of her own. After months of being treated like a guest in her own locker room, she didn't demand respect, she earned it. Through grit, elite talent, and a relentless work ethic that would put Olympians to shame, Clark reclaimed her rightful place. The version of Clark we're seeing now isn't just playing basketball. She's conducting a masterclass. Every pass is a note. Every deep three a soaring crescendo. She's no longer the rookie searching for a role. She's the centerpiece, the engine that makes everyone around her better. Her evolution has been so profound. Watching early season Fever games feels like stepping into a bizarre alternate reality where joy and greatness were somehow outlawed.
Caitlin Clark now has the 5th most double-doubles with points and assists in WNBA. The 5th most double-doubles with points and assists in WNBA, and we're only in year 2, and we've missed half the season so far? Oh no. Oh, that record's going to be broken any day now.
Clark's leadership isn't about yelling orders or dominating the room. It's about lifting everyone around her. She doesn't chase the spotlight. She builds a bigger one so the whole team can shine. Her passes aren't just on target. They're prophetic, hitting teammates' hands before they even realize they're open. She's playing chess while defenders are still unboxing the checkerboard, always 3 steps ahead and gaining speed. The Fever now revolve around her, not because anyone told them to, but because greatness has gravity. And make no mistake, Clark's talent and basketball IQ pull everything into orbit. Teammates who once hesitated to pass her the ball now search for her like she's holding the last bottle of water in the desert. The trust is so complete that when Clark signals for the ball in crunch time, 5 heads nod in perfect sync. before the pass is even thrown.
Even with their actual coaches and their training staff, like I've got some awesome videos of Keith training, like KK training Dantas, and you will see that they're laughing and they're having a good time. And I just think that is like the energy that you want, right? You want to create a locker room where it feels like family and you have each other's back no matter what. And noise gets loud and noise gets disruptive, but as long as you can stay together closely knit, then you can drown that out. I genuinely feel that